Back with more exclusive details on the Shraddha murder case. We are being told that 54,000 rupees were transferred online from Shraddha's bank account to Aftab's account. The location of the phone at that point of time during the transfer of this amount was Chhatarpur. So this is when the exact online transaction took place, the location being Chhatarpur. Now, what raised suspicion is that Aftab was exposed because of this very lie. Now, on 11th of November, when the Vasai police and the Delhi police interrogated Aftab jointly, when they interrogated Aftab together, Aftab told the police that he knew Shraddha's mobile password and it was him who transferred the money from Shraddha's phone. Whereas on the 26th October, when the Vasai police first took Aftab's statement, he said that on 14th of May is when both Shraddha and Aftab shifted to Chhatarpur, and after a quarrel, Shraddha left the house taking her phone along with her, and that Shraddha's phone was switched off on the 26th of May. So the Vasai police probe found that Shraddha's phone was used to transfer the money online between May 22nd and May 26th. And while Aftab told the Mumbai police earlier in the month of September that Shraddha was no longer with him post the 22nd of May, that they had a quarrel and she left the house. She was no longer with him. She also took her phone along with her. On 11th of November, when he was jointly confronted by the Vasai police and the Delhi police, he said that he knew Shraddha's mobile password and it was him who had transferred the money. Let me go across to Shivani and Sabyasachi joining us with more details. Shivani, if I could begin by asking you this. What is it that the Mumbai police, the Vasai police was first told? Because the September 26th confession becomes very, very important. 26th October confession, I beg your pardon, becomes very, very important because he had a different story to tell back then vis-a-vis what he told the police together on the 11th November.
Well, yes, here interestingly we have seen that not a shift in statement for once or twice, but 8 times statement were recorded, and all the 8 versions of the statement are very separate from each other, and that is why the case became suspicious. In fact, in the very first statement, Aftab went on saying that he had a quarrel, he had a fight with Shraddha, and those are very often fights, and that's why he was, in a very bad state of mind, and that's when after a very big fight, Shraddha left the house. She carried her belongings and her mobile phones along with her. Later, after recording several other statements, it was found that Aftab was giving misleading information to, somewhere affect the entire probe, which was led by Vasai police. And that's when they also found that after recording the statements, after tracing down several locations, the Vasai police in fact found that the ATM cards were used by Aftab, and his statement was clear that after 22nd of May, Shraddha left his house and they were not in touch with each other. But later it was found that he had transferred the money from Shraddha's account through online transfers to his personal account, and also in a further statement he accepted that he knew the passwords of her bank account details and also of her mobile phones, and that's how he could operate the entire mobile. And he had lied in the past, and not only this particular time, but on May 15th and 16th as well, the ATM of Shraddha was used by Aftab to take over the money. In fact, the police also go on to say, the sources within the police, those have probed the matter, they say that the money through which the particular refrigerator was bought by was the money of Shraddha and was removed from her account to Aftab's account. He had transferred it online, has utilized her ATM several times and kept his family and friends away, so that nobody can actually get in touch with her, and her banking details were also not actually accessed by the local cops by that time. But yes, of course, the ATM movement and the location spotting tracing led the police to identify that it was Aftab who was operating her mobile phone and was transferring the money through online transactions and also was utilizing her ATM. Simultaneously, he also has spoken to several friends through her Instagram chat, because he had passwords of all the other apps and also the banking accounts that Shraddha carried, and that's how he was portraying himself as Shraddha and making those transactions and conversation with her selective friends to keep an leading information so that her friends and family doesn't turn suspicious. Later also the friends' statement were recorded by Vasai police station. They also showed all of those chats to the local cops of Vasai and accepted that this was Aftab, those was talking to them. And in fact the money, those as we rightly mentioned also, that the refrigerator was bought by the particular amount of money that was transferred from Shraddha's account to Aftab's account on 15th and 16th of May, and also later on between 26th and 22nd of May.
All right, very, very explosive details. Sabyasachi, what does this tell us? Before the alleged murder took place is also when Aftab withdrew money from her account via the ATM. After the murder took place, between 22nd and 26th is when he himself used Shraddha's phone to transfer as much as 54,000 rupees to his own account. So before the murder and after the murder, and shockingly, the money with which he bought the refrigerator was also that of Shraddha's.
Well, absolutely. These are the shocking details that are coming forth, and this clearly shows the mindset of Aftab, and that is the reason why the Delhi police have decided to do a psychoanalysis of Aftab in the coming days. This particular analysis will be done to understand the mentality as well as the nature of the brutal murder that he committed, along with the kind of relationship that he shared with Shraddha. And let me tell you that though this particular psychoanalysis is not kind of admissible in the court, but it would help the Delhi police to establish the details that they would gather from the autopsy report, from the messages of the mutual contact, as well as the kind of messages that the Delhi police have retrieved from Aftab's phone. So this particular analysis becomes very important to understand the psychology of Aftab, because the details coming forth of the transaction being made by him before and after killing of Shraddha, and also what's shocking is that the refrigerator which he bought, where he stored the body parts of Shraddha, was brought from Shraddha's money itself.
All right, so this is shocking news coming in. Imagine, before having committed the murder, he withdrew some amount from Shraddha's bank accounts via the ATM, and he used that very money to buy the refrigerator, in which after cutting her into 30 pieces, he stored all of those pieces for 18 long days. Very, very shocking and brutal details coming to light. Thank you, Sabyasachi and Shivani, for joining us with those details.